الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. How are you guys today? Let me move you back slightly. Inshallah, it will go smoothly today. We had a little bit of a hiccup, tech-wise, with my internet connection for some reason. It's usually really good here. Down here in Cornwall, we've got excellent internet usually. But it let me down for a little bit. So let's hang out for a few minutes while we wait for some people to come back, because there were some of you here when I was trying to go on a second ago, but now you've gone to do something else. Wa alaikum assalam. Thanks for coming to see me. So we have a comment, but not a person. And I'm looking at the view account for some reason. Wa alaikum assalam. Thanks for coming to join me. Sorry about the delay, by the way. I was trying to get there was an issue with my connection. Wa alaikum assalam. Thanks for coming to join me. Let me just I'm going to share this live with the WhatsApp group for the Arabic in 60 Step students to see who wants to come and say hello. Okay. Let's let everybody know. Okay, there's 4 of you here. Please like the video, all of you guys. It makes a massive difference to me. I very much appreciate it. It doesn't cost anything, and it's a massive help to me. So please like the video just while we're waiting. So yeah, today what we're going to do is I have a meta novel Ajarumiya to give away. We're going to give this away to somebody today. Once again, I'll just kind of give it out to somebody who contributes something good in the chat, or something like that. Someone who I know has been here the whole time and has paid attention and things like that. We'll give this away to a high-performing student. Yesterday, all I did is I just picked someone at random from the chat, but today I will consciously be picking winners for me to send this to. So yeah, so that's what we'll do. I will do a little introduction. I will do a little introduction to this book, and maybe we'll read like a page of it together, and I'll talk you through maybe the first page of the Metan of Al-Ajarumiya, and I'll talk about it very briefly. This isn't a book that I teach in my program or anything, but it is a book I have a little bit of familiarity with. Yeah, so we'll talk about that. We'll do some open Q&A as well, and if you guys find it useful, then maybe we can go back to the story of Yusuf alayhi salam that we started yesterday, and we can do some more of that too. But I'll stick around here until about 6 o'clock. If you guys want anything, you want to talk about anything in particular, then yeah. Can you all, by the way, all 7 of you, can you give me a thumbs up in the chat, please, just to let me know you can all hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up in the chat, please? Do we have any thumbs up in the chat? I cannot see a single thumb up in the chat. 8 of you here, and only 4 likes. Get the likes up for me, please, before we get started. And yeah. Cool. Okay, you can hear me. You can hear me. Thank you very much. Let's give me some thumbs up in the chat, please. Any of you guys who are watching, like the video as well, please. Only 7 likes. Cool, we've got some returns as well. Some of you guys who were here yesterday come back to see me again. Thank you very much for coming to hang out. I'm still not feeling very well. I've been a bit sniffly and I've been coughing for days now. Hopefully better soon though. It's not because I'm cold, it's boiling down here in Cornwall. We've got beautiful weather today. Alhamdulillah. I thought about doing this live outside in the garden actually, but no doubt I'd be bothered by somebody. Good, okay, let me wait until we are here. We're going to wait for another 55 seconds, inshallah, and then we will get into an introduction into the Metan of Al-Ajarumiya. Yes, this is a very, very iconic text, but yeah, we don't need to talk about that just yet. I'll talk about a few things. We'll have a brief introduction to it and maybe do the first page of it as well. And then after that, I'll open it up to you guys. Any questions you have at all, any Q&A, then that's absolutely fine. And yeah, as I say, we will we'll take the opportunity to do some more of yeah, we'll take some opportunity to do some more of the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Why is Al-Ajarumiya so hyped? Good question. Why Al-Ajarumiya over other you know, works of Nahu? Well, I think it's perhaps one of the most accessible grammar books written in Arabic for Arabs. it's always an objective of Arabic teachers to sort of help our students transition into texts that are organic and written for Arabs rather than ones that are created for non-Arabs. So I suppose in that sense, I think it does make sense as a text for the study of the Arabic language. It's probably one of the most accessible for Arabic students, although it was written for Arabs, is an important note. So with that, I suppose that is part of the introduction, I suppose. So, good. So Al-Ajarumiya. This is a text which is not new. It is, 13th century, I think it's written in. So we're talking, 800 years old. And it's written by a grammarian. I think he was actually born in Fez, but definitely in Morocco. Definitely what we would call modern-day Morocco is when this text was written. And yeah, it was written for Arabs. It was written for Arabs to learn Nahu better. So I suppose it's kind of placed in the world of learning the Arabic language as the first Nahu text. Like when you go through the Medina books or the Arabic in 60 Steps program or whatever Arabic language program you go through, if you want to kind of start studying Nahu as its own thing, this will be kind of your go-to text in the beginning. It adheres to a particular school of grammar, like students who study here in the West, and that includes students who are on the Arabic in 60 Steps program as well, will be unfamiliar with some of the terms that are used in this text. But I will talk you through them because it adheres to the Kufan school of grammar. Yes, there's a term or two that maybe I'll mention as we go through the first page. So, this is Metnul Ajarumiya. It is the metin. What is a metin? A metin means the actual text, without any footnotes, without isnad. It's a term which, actually students of the Arabic in 60 Steps program, if you've done our lesson on hadith, you'll be familiar with the word metin, because when we study a hadith has a metin and has an isnad. The isnad, for example, will be عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, and then that'll be then you'll come into the metin, the actual main body, right? So this is the metin. This doesn't have the footnotes. This doesn't have whatever else. Okay, so it begins. The first word is al-kalamu. Al-kalamu يعني speech. هو اللفظ. اللفظ. The term lafz, we use that term to mean pronunciation, but this is in that it is uttered. Okay, it is utterance. Al-murakkab al-mufidu bil-wad'i. It is joined together. It is like coherent. Al-mufidu bil-wad'i, and the bil-wad'i is that it adheres to the rules of grammar. The verb wada'a means to place something, but it is placed in the rules of grammar, is what it means. It's that it adheres to the rules. Good. الكلام هو اللفظ المركب المفيد بالوضع. Good. وأقسامه ثلاثة. And its أقسام. One قسم is a part. The term قسم can actually also mean a department. If you ever end up going to a university in the Arab world, you can say قسم اللغة العربية, the department of the Arabic language. But the plural of this is أقسام. أقسامه. Who is referring to al-kalam. Good. Al-kalam. It's masculine singular, hence the pronoun previously huwa. الكلام هو اللفظ المركب المفيد بالوضع. وأقسامه كم ثلاثة. And its أقسام are ثلاثة. Its parts are three. So what this means is that any word that you ever hear in the Arabic language, any word that has ever been uttered by an Arab, which is correct Arabic, will fall into one of these three categories. It will either be ismun or fi'lun وحرف جاء لمعنى. Good. It will be an ism. Good. So this kind of process of categorizing Arabic as ism, fi'l, and harf, it's actually very old. It's way older than this book, and I think it's actually something that Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu even said to scholars who are around at his time, that you should categorize the Arabic language ism, fi'l, and harf, and then continue like this. So that's a very old categorization of words in the Arabic language. And I think it's actually founded in the Quran as well, because the first time we hear speech about language in the Quran is where we hear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. And we taught Adam the asma. Allah didn't say وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَفْعَالَ كُلَّهَا. Allah didn't say, and we taught Adam all of the verbs. We taught Adam all of the asma. And that's how Allah introduces us actually learning language generally. So we begin with the ism. and then we have the fi'l. The ism, what is the ism? Okay, the ism, it really translates to noun, right? But that's not all, and that's not the only thing you'd categorize as an ism, right? The word ism, it means a name, right? When you say ismi Sam, when you play Mario, when you hear ismi Mario, it means my name's Mario. And yeah, but the things that are categorized within an ism include things that we would call like adjectives, adverbs, yeah, nouns, proper nouns. Those are all words that would come under the category of ism. وفعل, good. A fi'l, it does translate well to a verb. There's not much ambiguity in that, really. وحرف, a harf is basically anything else. That's kind of part of the definition of what's given actually in the text as well, actually. Wa alaikum assalam, all of you guys who have come to join me. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. We are doing a brief introduction to the meta novel Ajarumiya. Very brief introduction. I'm just talking you through the language of it. So, I've already been from الكلام هو اللفظ المركب المفيد بالوضع وأقسامه ثلاثة اسم وفعل وحرف جاء لمعنى. A harf جاء لمعنى. It comes for a معنى. It comes for a meaning. Good, because a harf on its own doesn't have a meaning. Okay, if you just say fi, it's not a complete message, right? It's not a complete. Just say in. It's not a sentence, right? In English, our sentences need verbs, right? To be a coherent sentence in English, sentences need verbs. But in Arabic, that's not necessarily the case, because you have something called a jumla ismiya, a nominal sentence. So we can have two nouns together. We can have two isms together. So for example, الرجل مدرس. The man is a teacher. But there's no verb in there. Whereas in English, we would need the verb to be in there. We need to say that the man is, which is from the verb to be, a teacher. Good. Okay, so what do we have? The author actually goes on to explain what these are then. So he's laid out that there is the ism, the fi'l, and the harf. And then we come on to what they mean. فالاسم يعرف. So the ism يعرف, from the verb عرف, meaning to know. عرف would mean it was known. يعرف is passive. This is a passive verb. In the active, it's يعرف. عرف يعرف, he knows, but يعرف is passive, so it is known. The ism, it is known by what? بالخفض. Good, this is the first giveaway that it's a Kufan text. It's a text that adheres to the Kufan school of Arabic grammar, because we do not call this al-khafd in like our general studies of the Arabic language. We call this al-jar. In the Arabic in 60 Steps program, we call it jar. We say that something is majroor. But in the Kufan school of grammar, they call it khafd. That's usually the first thing that students come across and don't know, because the khafd isn't a word that we would know. But khafd is just the Kufan word of jar. So the ism is known with jar. What's meant by this? Well, it's only the ism that can be majroor. A verb cannot be majroor, because you can't put a preposition before a verb. You can't say in. You can't say in I sat, or with I sat, or, you know, on top he you know, he telephoned or something. Like, you know, yeah, we can't put prepositions before verbs. So naturally, you can't have verbs that are majroor. Good, so only nouns, only the ism can be bil khafdi or bil jarri, if we use our language that we're perhaps more familiar with. What tanween? Good, because only nouns can have tanween. You can't have verbs with tanween. You can never say yadhhabun. You know, you can never say he goes with an un on the end. Yadhhabun. It doesn't mean, it's just not a word. So tanween. Okay, we do not have tanween on the end of verbs or or indeed huruf, or indeed articles. وَالدُّخُولُ الْأَلِفْ وَاللَّامِ, and the adding of the alif and lam. Of course, of course this means the alif and lam of ta'rif, of knowing, right? الْبَيْتُ الرَّجُلُ. It does not mean an alif and lam, generally speaking. Like, there are verbs that have it. Like, for example, the verb iltaqa. It begins alif and lam, iltaqa, right? But it doesn't mean that. It means the alif and lam, lam of ta'rif, the lam of knowing. Good, of definiteness. And what about the okay, so then there's another part actually on the huruf. وحروف الخفض وهي, and lays out the huruf of khafd, the huruf jar, is what we would call them in the program, and they are what? من وإلى وعن وعلى وفي ورب والباء والكاف واللام. Good. So those are all those are حروف الجر. وحروف القسم. Good. And the حروف of قسم, the حروف of taking oath. And they are الواو والباء والتاء. And sometimes people use them all in one sentence. Sometimes people say wallahi billahi tallahi. Sometimes people say all of them. And yes, they're the way that you would be able to distinguish between a waw al-qasam and a waw al-atf. When we usually say waw to mean and, you know, مثلا أكلت اللحمة والخبز والرز whatever other things I ate, okay? We'll have a waw, but this not waw al-qasam, right? Because the nouns that come after them don't have a kasra. Good. So for example, wallahu means and Allah, right? But wallahi, it means by Allah, right? This is a waw al-qasam. Very nice. Okay, let's move on. So, والفعل يعرف بقد. So nouns, and so an ism or a harf does not begin with qad. Qad is used for verbs. Good. والسين. So sa at the beginning of a verb to make it future tense. So for example, سيذهب, he will go. سيأكل, he will eat. سأقرأ, I will read. سيستعمل, he will use. Yeah. Very nice. Okay. وسوف. سوف يعني the same thing as sa, really. We don't, there is an opinion and a slight distinction between those, but not really for our purposes. We don't need to go into it. وتاء التأنيث, and the ta of femininity. تاء التأنيث الساكنة, rather, sorry. Good, yeah, so the ta, تاء التأنيث الساكنة, good, so it's talking about the ta that goes on the end of verbs to make them feminine. So for example, we have a verb like خلق, meaning he created. خلقت would mean she created. Or if we were to have جعل, he made. جعلت, she made. Or we could have شرب, he drank. شربت, she drank. And it is تاء التأنيث الساكنة. And it is the تاء التأنيث, the silent ta with a sukun on the end. Very nice. Okay, good. And then the last bit that we'll do together is this bottom bit, because we've done فالاسم يعرف به, that the ism is known by. We have done والحروف الخفض, and what the حروف الخفض are. And so let's just do والحرف. Well, we've done والفعل يعرف به, and then we'll also talk about what a harf is as well. Good. Okay. ما يصلح معه دليل الاسم ولا دليل الفعل. Good. So the harf, what actually is, in its essence, what actually is ما لا يصلح. So it is not, which will be correct. With it, معه دليل الاسم ولا دليل الفعل. So it is everything which cannot be given the proof of the ism or with the fi'l, right? It's things that if something isn't an ism or a fi'l, then it's a harf. So for example, we can look at the word. Let's take the word an, okay? The word an. Okay, so does it, if we go through the qualifications of it being an ism, well, it's not khafd in itself, right? It's not majroor, okay? An, there's no evidence of us believing that it's majroor. Tanween, we don't say anon, or fiyun, or ma'un. Good. والدخول الألف واللام, and it does not have al-an. We don't have al-an. Good. And then also, it's not a verb, it's not a fi'l, because it doesn't have qad. We don't say qad'an. We don't say sa'an. We don't say sawfa'an. And it's not anat. It doesn't have ta' ta'nith either. So it is ما لا يصلح معه دليل الاسم ولا دليل الفعل. Excellent. So what we've done there is we have done the first page of the meten of Al-Ajarumiya. Let me look on my text to see if we can see it. So we read from the top. Put that there. Okay, so we read متن الآجرومية الكلام هو اللفظ المركب المفيد بالوضع وأقسامه ثلاثة اسم وفعل وحرف جاء لمعنى فالاسم يعرف بالخفض والتنوين والدخول الألف واللام والحروف الخفض وهي من وإلى وعن وعلى وفي ورب والباء والكاف واللام. وحروف القسم وهي الواو والباء والتاء. والفعل يعرف بقد والسين وسوف وتاء التأنيث. والحرف لا يصلح معه دليل الاسم ولا دليل الفعل. So we did that whole first page together. Excellent. So this one we will give away this metin of Al-Ajarumiya to somebody. Excellent. Let's turn to the comments, inshallah, and we will just answer any questions that you guys have for a little while. And at the end of it, if any of you guys make a really good point or something, then I will send this to you in the post as a thank you for being part of the channel. Let's have a look. So let me have a look and see if there are any questions. We have some assalamu alaikums. Okay, hi there. I just started learning Arabic a few weeks ago. The podcast helps to put things into perspective. That's wonderful to hear. Thank you so much for listening. That really means the world to me. If you've just started learning Arabic, if this video is a little bit over your head, don't worry. Yeah, this isn't kind of the standard kind of more beginner stuff that we do. But yesterday, a number of the students who were on our live yesterday, they wanted me to talk about Al-Ajarumiya a little bit and do a very brief introduction to it. Good. Are there any questions at all about learning Arabic in general, about the Arabic in 60 Steps program? Yeah, anything at all? I hand it over to you guys, and I'm going to have some water. Bismillah. At what stage should one start to learn Al-Ajarumiya? So, if you are a student in the Arabic in 60 Steps program, I think you'll start to be able to access it at about step 11, maybe earlier. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know why you, unless you really want to get into language texts, unless you really want to get into the kind of Islamic science of Arabic grammar, I don't know if you should prioritize it necessarily. I suppose it just depends on what your goals are really for the Arabic language, because to be honest, like most people who can access the language of it, they're people who already can use the language of it. If you know what I mean, like if you can read this in Arabic, it's likely you already know the grammar. If you know what I mean, like it's a text that was written for Arabs to be able to understand the grammar that they're already speaking. But we kind of learn Arabic the opposite way. Like we kind of learn the grammar before we start speaking it. So, yeah. So I don't know, but it's, as I say, it is a cornerstone, iconic text for studying Arabic. Anyway, good. Sarf versus Nahu. What's better to give more time for a beginner? So I take the approach that languages are just so entangled that I don't really believe in separating them so much. Like I don't really think you can get that much out of the study of balagha without knowing a lot of Nahu and Sarf. And I don't know if you can't really put Sarf into any use without knowing Nahu. Maybe if we were to go down the hierarchy, maybe I'd say to start with Nahu. Yeah. Okay, next question. I've been thinking about joining the program. Thank you so much for considering it. But I can read the paragraph on the website. Should I still sign up? Yeah. I mean, look, that's just got bits and bobs in it from steps 1 to 15. Yeah, and it's just a sample of some of the stuff that we do. It's not the whole program. So for those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about, I have like a little guarantee on the website of like a certain level of results the students can expect on the program, and if they don't, then you can tell me and I'll happily give you your money back. And yeah, there's like a paragraph. I can't remember what it is actually. I might have changed the actual paragraph a couple of times. It might be a story or something like that, or it might be a hadith or something. But it's something in Arabic, and basically I say, if you join the program as a complete beginner and you can't read this by the end of step 15, then I'll refund you. Yeah. Post 60 steps, what do you advise next steps in learning? So if you are confident with everything in the 60 steps program, it's really up to you. Like I don't know, like languages are, you don't kind of learn languages for the sake of it, you know, like you learn languages with the intention to use them for something, right? Like a language isn't a full skill on its own. We kind of use language as a way of interacting with different topics, if you know what I mean. So, so whatever the topics are that you're interested in, or what you should go into, yeah, that's what I'd say. I mean, maybe the priority of graduates should be building their speaking, I think, because yeah, but I mean that should even be a priority earlier, if that is a priority for your Arabic learning, because at the end of the day, whoever you are, even obviously for me as well, you need to think about how Arabic actually matters in your life. Like, you know, it's all well and good saying you want to learn Arabic, but if you can't envisage what your life is like as an Arabic speaker, then you're not going to use it. So that's just the thing. And when you live outside of an Arabic-speaking country like I do at the moment, you need to kind of manufacture that for yourself. So, you know, you can't really say, I want to get to a level of fluency in Arabic, but you've got no plan as to how you would use that fluency in your life. Like at the moment, maybe you don't interact with any Arabs. At the moment, you have no interest in reading Arabic. Maybe you know, I don't know how a person with that lifestyle maintains Arabic. So you need to think about how that actually matters in your life. Zara, assalamu alaikum. Thank you for your question. I assume the Arabic in 60 Steps program is self-paced. Yes, it is. How long does it generally take to complete the course? Our fastest students complete the program in about 6 months. Those who are kind of, I don't know, those who are a little bit more on and off and have more other commitments in their life, maybe 18 months. But a resource that I created a little while ago is there's a pace chart that's available in there, like in the first kind of like introduction information. When students join, there's a pace chart, which is designed for students to complete the program in a year. So we've already kind of laid out a structure for students to complete the whole program in a year. Yeah, it's important to have a look at that if/when you join, inshallah, because a lot of the time students assume that every step is going to be the same, like every step should require the same amount of time, but they're not all equal. There are some steps that take longer than others, you know, and some steps are deliberately more just about practice rather than learning anything new. It's kind of like a buffer step. I'm just going to answer Zara's question quickly before I come back to that other one. So, are there assessments throughout? Yes, the program's split up into 4 modules of 15 steps, and there's an assessment at the end of each one, yeah. You can continue the program even if you don't pass that assessment, but I can see your results for the assessment. Yeah. What's next? So, from all the content you've put out, like the Alauddin series, the Quranic Ayat series, your podcasts, where would you suggest is a good starting point to get into picking up vocab and speaking? To improve your vocab, the Phrase of the Day series, a lot of students have found that really enjoyable. The Phrase of the Day series that we did years ago. And then any of the story walkthroughs for your vocabulary, I would say. Good. How does upgrading the subscription work? I'm not sure what subscription. Or do you mean the subscription for the Arabic in 60 Steps program? Like if you started as a subscriber and then you wanted to get lifetime access, you could do it anytime. Email me and we'll figure it out. Yeah, sam@arabic-in60steps.com. Yeah, if you started as a subscriber, like you weren't sure if you wanted to pay the full one-time fee for the whole program, you started as a subscriber and then you thought it'd be cool to hang on to this long term so I can always refer back to it. Email me and I'll yeah, but you can upgrade any time. Let me think about whether I would do something like, you know, if you've just paid the subscription, I'll send you a workbook anyway. Like the subscription's is more expensive than most subscriptions to things like this would be. Like it's, yeah, it's like if you were a subscriber for 4 months, you'd already pay more than the one-time price for the whole program. But it has to be like that because there's startup costs for getting students onto the program, like the workbook, and then having access to the WhatsApp number. They're things that are hard to take back. So it has to be like that. But if you join for it's £60 a month, by the way. If you joined at £60 a month and then you were a few days in or whatever, you emailed me and you were like, "Yo, Sam, I'm enjoying the program. I think I want access to it for a bit longer. Can I upgrade?" Whether I would give you a coupon for £60 so you could join the program, 197 minus the £60 you paid for the subscription, I'd need to have a little think about that. I'd like to be able to offer something like that. Obviously, I try to make it easy for students when I can, but I can't promise that though, because it has to work, obviously. Good. Where are we? سلام من السعودية يا أستاذ وعليكم السلام من كورنوال في بريطانيا يا طالبي الكريم. جيد. How can I start to learn the Arabic language? The first thing you should do, in my opinion, is become well acquainted with the script. That is a good way to lay good foundations, and it's also really rewarding when you can write your name in another script really quickly and things like that. So I'd get well acquainted with the script, and I would really enjoy the novelty of being able to write your name in another language, be able to write your friends' names in another language and things like that. Get really into the script. After that, you should think about what you actually want to use Arabic for. You should think about how that fits in your life and how you want your life to be different after knowing Arabic. And how it fits in your life. And then in terms of practically how you should grow through your knowledge of the Arabic languages, you should begin by learning how to put bits of vocab together. What I call this in the program is a phrase, saying really simple things, like putting two words together and saying things like the cold water, the short man, the fat boy, things like that. Very simple bits of language, and then gradually building up from that. And then alongside that, if you have a very speaking focus, alongside that accumulation of grammar, just learn loads of phrases that you know you'll actually use. I'm really into learning languages through phrases. I'm really into that. I don't really write vocab lists anymore. I write phrase lists. And I always write phrases that I have a really clear idea of how I would use that and how I would feel using that sentence. And I even practice it, kind of role play in my head of who I'll say that to and what I'll say it like, and why that would be a cool thing to say or whatever. So yeah, those are just a few little bits of advice I can give you. Good. Great course, I highly recommend to all. Jazakallah khairan, I really appreciate it. It's a great framework experience. Yes, it's that's kind of one of the main objectives behind writing the program, was for it to be something very systematic and over a long time. Like, you can get courses, there's lots of other courses out there, but they're not as comprehensive as the 60 Steps program. Like, we cover every tense, every case, almost every verb form, in every person, as well as all of the main and most iconic categories of Arabic literature. We cover all of that. So yeah, we do a lot all in one program. Like, a lot of the time you'd kind of have to fish and sieve through other programs to get to that point, but yeah. What's your favourite tafsir book? I like the tafsir of al-Tabari. I like al-Tabari's tafsir. Yeah, for me personally, but generally generally I just quote Ibn Kathir most of the time because everybody knows it and it's so accessible. So I don't know. I don't claim to be a person who goes deep into like tafsir literature really. Yeah, I don't own a tafsir that I'm loyal to and stuff. I don't have like loyalty to one particular mufassir. Good, thank you all very much. All of you guys who are here, if any of you guys haven't liked the video yet, I just saw someone join and then liked the video immediately, so thank you very much. Number 19 who joined, thank you very much for joining and for liking the video immediately. It helps me massively when you like the video. It helps me in the algorithm and all of that stuff, so thank you very much. Cool. Okay, 20 of you here now. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Those of you guys who are new, we're doing a giveaway of this Metin of Al-Ajarumiya. Someone asked about the publishing house, actually. This is one I bought from a Somali shop. It has a Somali email address on the back. Maktabat Sunnah al-Somal. Yeah, so it's a Somali one. Ustadh, can you check Instagram DMs after the live? Maybe I'll do it now, inshallah, whilst other people are thinking of questions. My brother Ahmet. Must be a Turkish brother. Ahmet. What, my Arabic in 60 steps one? Oh yeah, I have some DMs in there. Oh yeah. Oh. Ahmed, I'll accept you. There we go. Typing. Assalamu alaikum, Ahmed. How you doing, my brother? There we go. Oh, mashallah. Good, good, good. Good. Okay, yes, I do know you, my brother. I do know you. Okay, I'm going to let's DM later, inshallah, when I finish with the live, inshallah. But jazakallah khairan. Yeah, for the message. We'll sync up afterwards. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brother. May Allah bless you and reward you abundantly. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you in your studies. I'm still on the live at the moment. Maybe you're actually watching me while I'm recording this. But let's sync up, inshallah, after I finish the live. And yeah, we'll talk later. Cool. Tamam. 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 Okay, Jayyid. What else we got? Keep up the good work, brother Sam. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Wa alaikum assalam. SB. You've got my initials as well. There's another Sam Burr here. SB. Cool. Right, what else we got? 23 of you here now. Thank you very much for liking the video. May Allah bless you guys. Another announcement while some of you guys are here. I am thinking of starting a membership for the website, for the YouTube channel. You might have seen lots of YouTube channels have memberships now. You can join and become a member of the YouTube channel. I'll think of some of the benefits that we can give you as members, but I want to do something to help support the channel, because it requires things, you know, it requires a lot of time and equipment and things like that cost money, and yeah, so I'd like to start a membership, not an expensive one, only £1.99 a month I think we're going to do, but that would be cool, because there's some changes that YouTube have made recently that, like, I just wasn't aware of. I didn't know that YouTube have monetized, like, everything. Because for this channel, for as long as I could, I just had no ads on this channel. I don't know if any of you guys remember that. We just had no ads on the channel, which was brilliant. I was happy to not make money off the ads if it improved the experience for you guys. But then YouTube just put ads on everything, but I wasn't getting the money. And a guy told me recently, I was like, you know that YouTube put ads on your channel now, but just they'd be making the money from it, but not me. Okay, let's come back to the questions, inshallah. So, what have we got? Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thoughts on the Mastering Arabic books by Jane Ratwick and Muhammad Ghaffar. I finished it. I'm wondering what my next step should be, as I have a decent foundation. Okay, good, mashallah. I'm not actually familiar with the books. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not really familiar with the books. But I would actually say a resource, which is kind of a one-size-fits-all thing you can check out. That's one of my students introduced me to recently, learning.aljazeera.net. And they have lessons on there for even quite advanced students on there as well. What they've basically done is taken organic clips of their own content, because they're obviously a media company themselves, and they've kind of turned them into Arabic lessons. So they have a transcript, and you can add or remove the tashkil on the Arabic transcript as well, which is really cool. And they've got like a vocab list and core grammar and things like that. So that's a cool resource that you can just start using now, that I've started using. Where can we access the stories of the prophets online? So you mean the actual book, or do you mean Yeah, do you mean the book, or do you mean like an educational series or like a lessons? If you mean the actual book, I'll see if I can find a PDF link to it now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you doing, Ustad Sam? I'm very well, alhamdulillah. I'm feeling a bit of anxiety at the moment. I've got a big change in my life coming up soon. Yeah, a big move, and yeah, it's causing me some anxiety and stuff. But I also want to, but before doing that, I want to have a load of the content for this YouTube channel recorded and everything, so there'll be some consistency with it. And yeah, I'm busy. I'm thinking about my kids a lot, obviously. My eldest, Yusuf, he's finished year one. And yeah, yeah, just a dad, really. It's kind of dawned on me recently that this is my life now. I get to worry about them forever. It's just part of being a parent, isn't it? Like you know, sat down in my chair the other day and thought, this is my life now. I'm going to spend the rest of my life worrying about my children. I don't know if any of you guys are parents and can resonate with that, but yeah, that's where we are. Sorry, you said something about like what we did yesterday. Okay, so but do you mean the actual book that we read from, or do you mean like me teaching it? If you mean me teaching it, you can learn from the whole story of Prophet Hud alayhi salam on this YouTube channel. If you go to like Arabic walkthrough of the story of Prophet Hud alayhi salam, you'll find it. But if you want the actual book, okay, let me get a PDF of it and I'll put it in the description. Let me find it somewhere, because you can download it from somewhere online. Maybe I'll find it. I'm just looking for something first. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'll come back to the questions just in a second. Just bear with me. Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I found it, but it was in Urdu. So that's not the one we're after, is it? Yeah, sorry. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll email it to you if you want. Send me an email, sam@arabic60steps.com, and just say, send me the Qasas al-Nabiyyin PDF, and I'll send it to you today. Because just off, yeah, I couldn't. So okay, anyway, let's move on, inshallah. What methods have you used to teach your children Arabic? So Arabic is not a main priority for speaking in our family. Our children have quite a challenging linguistic environment, really, because my wife's hard of hearing. And although she was raised in Saudi Arabia and she speaks Arabic, and she's also Somali, and she knows Somali, and she moved to the UK when she was like 16 and she knows English. She's hard of hearing, and her best language is sign language. So although she knows those other languages, she's not using them as input for our children. And obviously I'm an Englishman. I speak English to them, right? So those are like the main priorities. And I also follow the view that it's more important that your children have one. My children don't have one, but it's more important that your children have one language that they can communicate with you deeply with. And you can have deep and meaningful conversations with your children from a young age, rather than spreading them thin across multiple languages. So the priority hasn't been speaking Arabic with them. That said, Yusuf goes to an Islamic school, and he has Arabic lessons there, and he has homework, and and his teacher's really good. He's had a really good teacher. And then at home, we just encourage him to, I speak Arabic to him sometimes. I'll say things that I know he'll be able to access, like, if we're doing homework together, things in his pencil case or bits of food, I'll refer to them in the Arabic word, and things like that. More just kind of blend it as another language into the matrix language, which for us is sign language in English. Yeah. So that's it really. The answer isn't as isn't that our children are perfectly eloquent Arabic speakers. That's not our situation. Yeah, and we also live in the UK. So yeah. My wife and I are actually writing a book at the moment on Somali Sign Language. Somali doesn't really have like a standardized sign language like Britain does. Britain obviously has BSL, America has ASL obviously, but Somalia doesn't really have like a standardized sign language. And some deaf people grow up in Somalia not knowing a language. It's really sad. And so my wife and I are writing what I believe to be the first ever book on Somali Sign Language. And yeah, it's been so much hard work. Mashallah, my wife, she's made a lot of sacrifices for that, and she's put in a lot of hard work. We've had friends of ours even like act out the signs, because we're doing like a website companion to the book as well, where you can watch the videos of of all of the signs, and we've collected about 400 signs in Somali Sign Language that are going into the book. So that's something else that we're busy with at the moment as well. Yeah, but inshallah there'll be a lot of good in it. A lot of people will benefit from it, inshallah. So, okay, what else, guys? You've gone quiet on me. But what else can I do for you? You've got me rambling about things about my life. What else? What else can I help you guys with? So do you use Somali Sign Language or BSL? BSL. My wife's best language is British Sign Language. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, like that's my wife, even though like my wife lost her hearing when she was still in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, but when she came to the UK was when she was able to kind of learn sign language. And yeah, so she learned in the UK, so she knows British Sign Language. And her friends, even like our Somali friends, our deaf Somali friends, they know British Sign Language. Yeah. Do you find case endings interesting? Yeah. I find the notion of case interesting. I quite like teaching it actually, because it's something that we just don't really think about in English. Even in the field of teaching English that I'm trying to get into a little bit at the moment myself. Like I want to get into teaching English to Somalis more, and it seems like in the field of teaching English that you don't really acknowledge the case that we have in English. Like coming from like a background where I learned Arabic, obviously, I'm always kind of looking for the idea of case in other languages and stuff. And even when I get students on the program who have learned another language before, I'm always trying to, if they've learned a language that has case already. Like recently, I had a conversation with one of my new students who has learnt German before, and German has cases as well. So I always use it as an advantage for teaching them. Yeah. Yeah, so I do find case endings interesting. Yeah. Although in English we don't really have case endings. The expression case endings is more of an Arabic centric term, because other languages maybe express their case in ways other than an ending. Yeah. Yeah, but other languages do have a genitive case for an idafa type thing, like a something of something. Lots of languages do that. Somali does it, as does German, I believe. They have like a genitive case, but they don't necessarily do it with a case ending like Arabic does. Yeah. Russian also does. Cool. Does Russian have, how many cases does Russian have though? Does it use the genitive in the way that I just mentioned? Yeah. But yeah, I've heard of Russian having cases. I've also heard of Polish having cases. At university, some of the first friends that I made were Polish, and they told me they actually do have it in Polish as well. 6 cases exist in Russian. Awesome. That's cool. So when in Arabic you learn 3. 3 for verbs, 3 for nouns, 2 of which overlap. The mansoob and the marfu' apply to both, but yeah. Ameen, ameen. Jazakumullahu khairan for all of your du'as. Wouldn't learning Arabic only be useful if you plan on to live in an Arabic language speaking country? Of course, but I don't know if I do plan on living in an Arabic speaking country. Yeah, and also, like, I don't know if I have the resources even to raise my children speaking Arabic as a main language. In the sense of, like, because our family aren't Arabic speakers by choice. Many of my in-laws do speak Arabic, because as I say, they were raised in Saudi Arabia, but yeah. Would you say that it's wise to use the Hans-Wehr dictionary from the get-go? Yes, actually. I did. Yeah, I would. I just, so long as you know how to use it, really. It's not entirely intuitive that you need to look for things, when you need to look for keywords and stuff. You need to have done a little bit of sarf in order to access the Hans-Wehr dictionary. So I suppose it depends what kind of Arabic language education background you're coming from. If you come from a Muslim one and you're familiar with that process of spotting word patterns and being able to know what the root letters of a verb are, if you're okay with that, then yeah, go ahead, Hans-Wehr dictionary. But if not, then something else would be more suitable in the very beginning. They have something called the instrumental case. I have no idea what that is. Instrumental. Russian came up, and Polish, actually. In Russian, the instrumental case is used to indicate how something is done. In English, we commonly use words like by or with to do this. So when I'm thinking about how something is done, I'm thinking about just using adverbs for that. I ran quickly. Or is it used for things like I ran with speed? Or I ran by myself? Or something. Is it used for things like that? Because Arabic would just use an adverb with that. You know, ركضت سريعا, I ran quickly, or بسرعة, with speed. Yeah, بسرعة, or slowly, ببطء. Yeah, Arabic does it like that. Not that way. Oh, okay. Way easier when cases overlap. Yeah, absolutely. How often do you hold lessons in a week? So usually I only do one of these lives a week, but I'm in Cornwall for a little bit at the moment, and I've got the space and the resources to do it down here. So down here I'm doing it every day. Yesterday we did one. Today we're going to do one. The next 2 days we're going to do one as well. We'll do one tomorrow on Friday, and on Saturday we'll do one, but I don't know if it'll be in the evening like this. It might be in the afternoon because I've got some stuff to do in the evening, but I'll let you know. We've been doing giveaways all week. Yesterday I did a giveaway of it's not here now, but I did a giveaway of some calligraphy art. Today we're going to do a giveaway of an Ajarumiya. I'm going to pick one of you from the comments to give that away to, and yes. Is it interactive? So I get the impression that you're asking about the Arabic in 60 Steps program. No, it's completely self-paced. The whole program is already taught, and it's completely self-paced. But you get the WhatsApp number to this phone, and you can ask questions whenever you like about the program. But I feel because I don't know if because I've already met you, and I knew you through someone, you might already have my work number. So you would just get that number back, but I would actually answer your questions every weekday about the program. So that's kind of how we interact. I only really do live lessons like this. If these were busier, like if we got into like many people coming to these lives, I would do separate ones for the Arabic in 60 Steps students for sure. But at the moment, even when I invite everybody, we've got hundreds of students in the Arabic in 60 Steps program and over 20,000 subscribers here, and only 17 of you have come to see me today. So when we're in a situation like that, we're not justified in doing lots of lives. But if people were and did want to make use of it, then I would do more, and I would do lives specifically for Arabic in 60 Steps students, definitely. Yeah. Let me get back to it. Sorry, I lost you. They have something with the instrumental case. Yeah, cool. Nice. I can't see all of the comments on that. Let me bring you close to me and let me do this. Oh, for example, I eat with a spoon. Oh, okay, cool. What online dictionaries would you recommend? I don't know any. And that's it. Cool. All right. In a couple of minutes, I'll do the giveaway. I will look for a cool comment, a nice question, or something good, and I will be giving away Ajarumiya. If I will pick you, I will pick someone who made a good comment. But if you're a person who already owns Ajarumiya, or you just don't really want it, then tell me and I'll give it to someone else. But if you want it, it's yours. It will be a gift from me to you. Good. Cool. Okay. Let's where are we? Let's do the giveaway now. Let's do it now. Okay. Let me have a look. Let me scroll. Let's give it to. Let's give it to. Let's give it to Yusuf Taha Guvin. Yusuf Taha Guvin, if that's how you pronounce your name. You are the new proud owner of a meta novel Ajarumiya, if you would like it. If not, then we can give it to somebody else. But congratulations, Yusuf. I like that you taught me about another case. I like that, and I like your contribution to the live as well. So thank you very much. I'm going to at you. I'm going to say, and also I like your name as well, because you have the same name as my eldest. Congrats. Congrats. You won this week. You won this live's giveaway. Congratulations. Good. So, oh, you already have it. Okay, cool. Let's give it to someone else. We can give it to, yeah, Ahmed Dinch. We'll give it to you, my brother, inshallah. Yes, I like how many you've commented many times actually, mashallah. You harassed me into responding to your DM, which I like. I like the zealousness, mashallah. And I also like you wanting to come to the lives. I like you. Yeah, I like all of it, mashallah. So Ahmed Dinch, teşekkür ederim for being here, and this one's for you. So if you would like it, then just email me, sam@arabic60steps.com, and I will send it to you. Yes. I'm not actually in your neck of the woods anytime soon, I don't think. Yeah, because I'm in Cornwall, obviously, at the moment, and I don't tend to work in that part of London these days. But yeah, so I probably can't deliver it by hand this time. I'll send it to you. But send me an email with your address, sam@arabic60steps.com, and I will send that to you. Enjoying Cornwall, of course. I love it here. It's my favourite place in the whole of the UK. I'm kind of conflicted, really, because I love it here in lots of reasons. It's by the sea. We have beautiful weather. When it's hot, it's actually nice. Like in London, when it's hot, it's kind of inescapable, really, and it's sort of just suffocating when it's hot in London. But in Cornwall, it's nice. You've got space, and generally down here, because it's cheaper to live down here, the houses are bigger and stuff generally, so you've just got more space and stuff. And also, it's just home to me, really. My family moved here when I was 11, and yeah, so I kind of did most of my important growing up down here. And yeah, I love it, but I'm also conflicted because I don't live near a masjid and there's not loads of Muslims, and getting halal food is difficult, and yeah, so I'm conflicted, really. But yeah, for coming here for a short trip and stuff, I do very much like it. Jazakallah khairan though, Yusuf Taha, actually, for being honest about that. You could have easily just accepted a book, even though you already have it, and it might have ended up in the bin or something, but you were honest for to the benefit of another student, so so thank you. I very much appreciate that. Okay, really nice. Well done, guys. Thank you so much for coming to see me today. We've been here for over an hour now, so I'll let you guys get on. Oh, mashallah. They've opened a masjid near the office. Nice. Yeah, I had no idea. Well, I was always just praying in my office when I was working there. Oh, mashallah. Okay, guys. Let's call it a day then. Thank you so much for coming to join me. May Allah bless you guys and increase you guys in knowledge, and make the acquiring of the Arabic language and much knowledge beyond that. Good. Okay, have a great rest of your day, guys. All of you guys are in the UK, enjoy your evening. Our brothers and sisters over the pond, enjoy your afternoon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.